Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In our previous tutorial, we learned that how we can make the email dynamic using the timestamp. In this particular tutorial, I will show you how you can make your APIs data driven using the CSV file. So let's begin. First, let me show you what we did in our previous tutorial. So basically in our previous tutorial, we created a unique email using a timestamp and we were passing this variable in our payload over here. Now, what we will do is that instead of this complete static payload, we will get the data from the CSV file. And how we will do this? Basically, we will create a function which will read the data from the CSV file and will pass this data in the payload. Now, I have already created the users.csv. Let me show you. And this is the main root folder. So if I click on this one, so it contains the name, email, their gender, active or inactive. So this is a CSV. Now what I will do is that I will simply copy this complete code from here, or we can just make the changes directly in this particular code. Now as we need to import the data from the CSV, so we need to interact with the CSV. So how we can do this? So simply we say import CSV. And once we have this one, we don't need time because we don't need to work with this one. So I'll remove these lines of code from here. And on top of it, let's create a function which will read the data from the CSV file and convert that into a list. Okay. So let's create a function read underscore users underscore from. So again, this is the name of the function. We can give it any name and it will require a path. So file underscore path. Now we need to open the CSV file in the read mode because we need to read the data with open and here file path comma mode is equals to R means read mode. Then usually CSV has different encoding and the common one is UTF-8. So I'll give that one. So UTF-8 as file, and then I will ask it to return a CSV. Basically, we need to return a dictionary basically, okay, in the form of a list. So I'll say return and return list, and so CSV using the CSV module dot we have a dictionary reader, right? And we need to give a file. Okay, so this is a very simple function. For this function we just need to file and it will open this file in the read mode and it will convert that into a list. Now here we have this particular test and we have URL, we have request. Now before we need to create a payload, so basically we need the users. So I will say users is equals to read users from CSV and the name of the file is basically users.csv. So this is basically a file path and this file path is basically referring to this one. So users.csv. And this needs to be provided in double quotes users.csv. And now what we need to do is that we need to simply make this payload data coming from the CSV. So for that we need to loop through each user in the CSV file. For user underscore data in users, and inside this we need to move, because we need to move completely this inside the loop. Now here we need to provide a data coming from the CSV. So for user data in user, inside that we have this payload, and here I just need to remove this one, complete one, and we need to get the data and user underscore data, and from here we need a basically name, and this name actually we are referring to this one. Okay, so come back and in a similar way, so let me copy this one over here, paste it over here, then here, and again here. Now basically in terms of name we need email, here we need gender, and here we need status. That's how simple it is. Rest we don't need to change anything, because we are providing this payload, then headers, and the only thing which you need to ensure the alignment of the code, because this code runs in the loop, so everything needs to be inside the loop. So this, otherwise you will face the errors. And again, you see that as soon as I move the code forward, this warning is getting removed. Now this is how simple it is. Simply loop through the data and you can make your test data driven. Now let's run this one and see what happens. So test name is test underscore create underscore user. Let's hit enter and see what happens. So one selected, and it is trying to execute this test case. Now let's see what happens. There are 4 or 5 records in the CSV. So for every record, this test should get executed. And yes, you see that we got executed for all the test data and passed. And it got passed in 20 seconds. And here we have basically the different assertion name for name and user for user. So what we are getting, we are setting with the payload. So if you haven't seen my last tutorial regarding these assertions, just go and check that. And here we are printing the user. So we are getting all the users printed over here, right? So that's how you can simply make your test data driven, and you don't need to write a lengthy code while importing the CSV file.